Good evening and welcome to the Team 7 podcast. My name is Logan. I'm here joined by my two dear friends, Asher and Zach. Here talking about Naruto Shippuden episodes 197 through 205. So we got our bearing for what's to come, what's next. What'd you guys think? Let's start with 197, the 6 Hokage Danzo.
I'm going to tell you something about all of them first. I made more notes for these, 9 episodes than any other 2 batches combined. I don't even know where to start talking about stuff.
Let's just start with episode 197.
Sounds logical.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't. I mean, we skipped some filler. Let's just say that if you're watching with us. From the moment that Naruto was the hero of the village, we have progressed to what is next immediately. And it was kind of cool that it opened with Anko and Sai on a recon mission of what was happening behind the scenes in different parts of the village and what's next to come. But Danzo, man, freaking slime ball,
gives me the ick.
So much.
He's easily one of my least favorite characters of the entire series.
And here's the thing,
absolutely loathe him.
You could argue good intentions. He loves the leaf. He's just the worst, though. Going about it all weird and gross, you know?
Yeah. And getting some background on who he was and then seeing his schemes now again, it puts context for why I don't like him. Because before I never really could pinpoint why, but seeing his background with pain and then now going back to more schemes and the shadows and working in, the conspiracy realm of the village. Just like Asher said, he gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Got some new characters too, though. From the Cloud.
We did. Asher, what do you think about them?
Karui?
How did I know that would be the first one you said?
Which one?
Samui.
Samui? Is that the blonde lady?
Yeah.
The leader of the trio?
Yeah.
She's cool. Huge personality. I really liked the whole exchange with Karui and Omui at the beginning, though. It's just some fun banter that doesn't happen often in Naruto.
It was amazing. What if you throw a stone and it hits another stone and then destroys the entire leaf?
No.
That is... What's funny is I just happened to see a meme or I guess an Instagram reel, whatever, of that clip. Maybe 2 days before watching it. And
that's so random.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. Just the timing of that.
Which one's the male presence out of the 3? Is that Omui?
Yes, it is.
I really enjoyed him talking about how all the he's just off in his own head thinking about how the ladies are going to fall in love with him, and then he says, "I'm scared they'll suggest a suicide pact because they can't all be in love with him." I laughed out loud. It's just insanity within the first 5 minutes of coming back from filler, basically.
Yeah.
Also, is that in this sort of kids show that would have been on Toonami Cartoon Network or Adult Swim, I guess? I don't know.
I don't know. So
the helpline and concept to be putting in on network television.
Right. I would say not.
Being a religious cult.
What got aired on Toonami was cut. And I don't know about today because Shippuden is still being aired weekly at 1:30 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. Eastern. But they're still not done, so they're very close to the end. But what was aired back then, at least, was a cut version. So whenever you're coming out of the opening sequence and then it shows like the episode title in Japanese, that has been cut to be in English. And then they do changes to make sure that it meets a certain standard for TV ratings. So that it's still like Y7, or it's not Y7, but whatever the rating is, so that it matches that. So it just depends on if it like if it like met the criteria to still be aired or not. Because obviously it got dubbed originally the uncut way, what you guys are watching. And then it's recut for Cartoon Network, essentially. Or
content.
Disney XD, whatever it was on at the time. It's gone back and forth between the two. But
so we can agree that Suicide Pact is not Y7.
Yeah, it's definitely not Y7. But Naruto's not Y7. It's just the first one that came to mind.
I know.
I don't know what it is. I would have to look it up, but it doesn't really matter. I would say odds are it got redubbed to something close to it, but maybe this is something that Lore Master can track down for us.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
He needs a jingle like Hans Kim.
Oh my god. We were just talking about Kill Tony right before we started. Right before you got on. That's amazing. So yes, the 6 Hokage Danzo. I want to talk about I guess just the 5 Kage in general. This is the first time that we've seen, this is the first time we've seen the Mizukage. This is the first time we've seen the Tsuchikage. This is the first time we've seen the Raikage, or did we see him prior to this with the fight with B? Whenever Sasuke fought B. I can't remember if we saw him then.
I think this was his debut because
I think so
it was kind of like, in my watch through of it, it was kind of suspenseful of like who this guy is.
Okay.
And then when we finally meet him, I was like, dang, he looks just like Killer B.
Okay, so gotcha.
Too.
Yeah. And then
so Killer B is a bit of an outlier within the Cloud.
Yes, we will. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but we will get more on that, more information about B and what his life was like as a Jinchuriki. But yeah, definitely more of an outlier. Personality is just kind of like out there. So
it was funny. The flashback was funny. I know we'll get to that, and we've got to stay on task here, but there's just so much. I'm excited about B.
There's so much in this batch, but not a lot going on. Like we had the 5 Kage summit, and what was happening with that, and Sasuke was involved with that, and then the other side of that was Naruto and Kakashi and Kabuto, and that also overlaps with the 5 Kage summit. So just a lot happening at one place right now. But what were we? Oh no!
It was also talking about the 5 Kage, but sorry, Zach.
Yes, okay. And then the last Kage was the Kaze Kage, who obviously we've met, Gaara. So this is the first time that we've met the other 3 Kage. Got a favorite? And if you do,
not really.
You don't? Okay.
Of those 5?
Yeah,
of those
the 5.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
easily
I guess take
Gaara.
out of it.
Easily Gaara.
Okay, take Gaara. Okay, out of the 3 we just met. Sorry.
Probably the lady. What was her name?
Mizukage. I can't remember. What is her name?
She just seems...
I've got them all somewhere.
She seems genuine. I guess is why I gravitate towards her first, because Raikage, very emotionally driven, and the reason why he couldn't be the leader, we'll talk about that. But the old guy is just, he needs to go. Pass the torch. Crotchety, pass the torch. But hey, he fits that role. He's in every story, so he does a good job at what he does.
He's also a vehicle for his 2 companions to have some comedic moments. So I appreciate that in the writing.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Kage is one of my least favorite characters alongside
Wow.
Donzo.
I
that's
gravitate
not
towards that for sure.
that's not indicative of it if he is a good or bad guy in the show.
Right.
It's purely just a character thing. I disagree with where his character stands through basically the rest of the show. So,
Gotcha.
again, don't take that as him being good or bad or against Naruto or whatever. It's just I can't stand his character type.
Well,
I mean, go ahead.
I'll say real quick, I understand his point of view with Sasuke, but as Shikamaru very, very eloquently pointed out, like if something happens with Sasuke that's outside of the Leaf's control or outside of us pulling him back into the Leaf and caring for him or in some way, then it's war between people who should be allies right now in a big way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a big way. Which leads us into, let's just kind of skip ahead. The five Kage get there and they're trying to determine what to do with the Akatsuki and deal with that. And then we see a big like change in the ninja world. The alliance. That's a really cool part of the show to me, that the five countries form an alliance, and we'll obviously see more of that. But I can't remember, did they determine a leader? I know that it's not the Raikage, and it was going to be the Hokage, Danzo. And then obviously he bailed whenever Sasuke showed up. So I don't think they chose a leader, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
The last thing we saw was Madara's declaration.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. Gosh, man. So honestly, so much does happen. I'm getting lost in this.
I know. There's
Yeah,
too
and
many things.
I kind of want to go back to the very beginning of like why the Cloud were even in the village. Like we missed a big piece of the story, and like we were curious how after Pain's defeat and healing the village, like what's going to happen, what's next, what's the catalyst to get going on the rest of the story. And I thought that was a cool way to kind of pick it back up, is like another village is upset with Sasuke.
Yeah.
And so they're after him. And so the natural thing to do is to go to his village and be like, hey, where's your rogue ninja? And there's a lot that happens even before we even meet the Kages. Like, it's such a dense batch of episodes. But honestly, one of my favorite moments was when Naruto stands up for his fallen comrade and just is an honorable friend. And there's so many branches from that. The Sakura side of it, with Sai coming in, who's like, I can't sit back, and he, spills the beans on something that may or may not be true between Naruto and Sakura. We haven't found confirmation of that. It feels like it's right, but at the same time, like Hinata's now in the equation. Is that true? There's like, I don't know. There's so much going on before we even meet these five Kages. And I just feel like it's why Asher took so many notes, is there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And it was satisfying though. Like after this huge big moment and Naruto gets the respect and the honor he deserves, we were like, what's going to happen next? And it's like everything is happening next. Like we've got so many different things to look at in this story now. So
yeah.
I did make a note, like I know we typically don't bring any kind of like religion or spirituality kind of thing into this, but Naruto is such a like Jesus like sacrificial figure who is just like, I'm willing to lay down my life for the worst of the worst kind of like everyone in the world at this point thinks Sasuke is just like a war criminal basically. And then
Yeah.
Naruto's like he's not just my best friend, he's my brother. Like I'm going to the ends of the earth to like bring him back. It's just
And not even that,
It's
I'm not
really-
going to sell him out either. Like,
yeah.
if I get that you have hate in your heart, and if you want to get that out, take it out on me. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. That is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it really changes the way Sai views the world, too. Moving forward with some of the things that he's confronted with between Danzo and Kakashi. And, like, Naruto has this ability to just change people's hearts by his actions alone and his words, but like, yeah, just.
But it's
I was
like who
watching that
Naruto
scene.
is.
Yeah, and I was like watching that scene, and I was like, it broke my heart because he didn't deserve that. But at the same time, like, I don't think that he would have done that if he hadn't talked to Pain. You know, like the catalyst for his honorability and his ninjutsu, or what is it called? His the ninja way. What did they call that? Nindo. Like he's not just saying it. Like
Right.
he means it.
Mhm.
Like if I tell you I'm gonna help Sakura, I'm gonna do it, and that means I'm not gonna sell him out so that they can do it first and like kill him.
Right.
And
Well, and that's like also part of the reason why Naruto keeps referencing his promise to Sakura. I mean, at this point, that was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So when Naruto says something like it's for life, like or until it's fulfilled, one. Yeah, just I think that you hear this a little bit more now, but sounds a little cheesy, but anime like actually builds good morals. Like all of the content, and it's tough to blanket statement that, but in a lot of these shonen anime, they teach good standing. They teach like good moral standing. Things that like you want your kids to grow up like learning and aspiring to be. And I think that that's overlooked because of the medium that it's like come through. But if you can look past that, and I've told this to so many people, and you both, or maybe not Asher, but Zach as well, just like I know that you're open to animation, but like it's different to take on an anime as vast as Naruto. And we talked last time about like the payoff of like the hero of the hidden leaf, and that's like why I wanted you guys to start at that sort of like feeling. But it's also because of like who Naruto is. You don't have that sort of connection with a character if it's not like one through time and being a good character, because we've spent a lot of time with other characters that we just don't feel that way about. But with Naruto, because of who he is and how just lovable he is overall, it like becomes someone you're attached to. And I think that that's just, like I said, overlooked.
Yeah, and it's kind of why I like the character of Sai now. Like when I first started seeing him in the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, when I first started like developing that, understanding of Sai, I wasn't really a fan at first. But now it's kind of like a blank slate for those morals to be kind of formed in another person, because he's just kind of an empty shell because
He
that's
is
how
kind
he
of
was
a blank
raised.
slate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like there's like this drama added to it of he thinks Naruto's in love with Sakura, and we'll get an answer because they're gonna talk soon. That's why she came to find and talk to him. We haven't seen
dreading
that conversation.
Dreading it, by the way.
Sure. And I think we're gonna get clarity of like maybe at one point he had a crush on her, But I think the love that Sai sees is not like romantic. I
Mhm.
think that's his sister. Like in the same way that Sasuke's his brother. Like
I hope
he
so.
loves Sasuke for the relationship that they were dealt in circumstance. And because of like the history and the missions and the just the repertoire of things that they've done together, not to mention the promise that he's made to her, I think he's replaced like we haven't really seen him like except for in like, you know, after missions in the village type things, but he's not like pursuing her like he was in school, you know? And again, we'll find out, we'll see, but I think Sai, because he's that blank slate, kind of set up this conversation in a different way. And that's just great writing because he's seeing things through fresh eyes and doesn't understand. But we're going to see through Sai this love that doesn't have to be, you know, romantic. And he's going to realize you can love people without like being in love. That's my prediction on that side of the story. But I just think that it's like,
side.
okay.
Yikes. I like that idea. And I can't remember. So the next episode that we watch is Sakura's Feelings 206. So
I don't want
I
to know.
purposely cut at this point because I knew that the 5 Kage Summit, this is when Madara says like this is the 4th great ninja war. And then I knew that we would then get right back into it and it would be something so terrible. But I can't remember exactly what is said in that conversation that we're about to watch. But I will say this. Naruto it's like old love with Sakura. I wouldn't say so much as like sister because he is still very much attracted to her. But there's just a lot of like history between them now, and she's always shut him down. So while he's still very much he would be open to it, it's almost like a learned like it's not even like I still will feel this way, but like I'm not gonna like chase her around like you said, like he did in school. But like you said, Hinata's definitely a part of the picture now. I wouldn't say as much like Naruto is like head over heels for Sakura, but I would say like old love is definitely there, and they're teammates. So like, there's like, yeah, definitely love between them. But I do like your prediction for Sai because he's had so much character development and just emotions, which is something that you don't really get a lot of in characters. Typically they come with some sort of temperament, and he does have his own, but it's like his own is no emotion. So like as they're filling that up, he's just getting a lot of like new aspects that we've never seen. And I'll say that's true even through Boruto. You still see Sai, sorry for the spoiler that he doesn't die, but you
Low
still
stakes
see a
for
lot.
Sai's death, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be sad because and just to like back when Sai and Yamato were introduced, I was like those episodes were a slog for me. Like I
Yeah.
did not want to see Sai. I did not want to see Yamato. I was like, I'm kind of over this right now. That was probably my point in Naruto where I was like, if we can just move on to the next thing, like I know I'll be interested again, but I'm not interested in these two characters.
Yeah.
And all the love I have for Sai now, that's like crazy writing that I'm so interested in his story and what happens with him.
Yeah. It's not like force fed to you. It's over time
It's true.
because they had so much time to
Yeah.
do it. But we saw, like we talked about Sakura heading towards Naruto, but, and we talked about a little bit with, Naruto getting beat up. I can't remember that girl's name, but
Karui.
anyways, he leaves there and heads for what's her name?
Karui.
So
Karui. Karui. Karui.
Karui, Samui, and what?
Omui.
Omui?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder about, like, what about their name? Like, Mui, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Japanese to know if that's, like, significant why they all have that same ending.
Right.
But is it all spelled the same at the end? Like, it's all going to be the same, like, symbol?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. That's interesting.
I don't know. Another thing for Lore Master, play his intro.
Please.
Jet Kirby.
What was I saying?
More
So
than meets
Naruto
the
heads to the land of iron to meet the Raikage and beg him for
plead.
plead for Sasuke's I guess forgiveness.
Yeah,
Pretty,
or not, basically to not be hunting him down anymore, right?
mm,
Just wild.
yeah,
Like
to like
if,
call off the whatever, the bounty, I guess.
yeah. Which
Yeah.
if I was Naruto, first of all, which I could never be because I'm not like that, I would be like, screw Sasuke. Like he
Yeah,
messed
at
up
this
way too
point,
bad. Let's kill him
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
really,
Yeah,
but
and
kind
that
of.
but I do think it was noble the reason why. Like it wasn't just because it was his friend. And it
No.
wasn't just because it was a person that he was trying to retrieve to like talk to. I don't think it was selfish. It was so that the cycle of war would stop in another aspect of the ninja world.
True.
And that's what set that apart for me and why I don't like the Raikage even more. Like the disrespect that he had towards Naruto for such a noble plea. Like I get it was his brother and I would feel so similar to him,
Yeah.
but I don't think that way. And he's like that stereotypical colonel, general, military, character vibe. And so it's like black or white only. And I get that. I get it. But even Kakashi like following up and being like, "Hey, this is why he's saying this. What are your thoughts on that?" And he just, you know, cast him aside as like a stupid kid.
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. It was more than just, "Hey, that's my friend, lay off." It was, we don't need to go to war. And there's context for that because
Yeah.
if you do this, we're not going to be able to sit back and just be like, "Okay, that's fine." And then the snowball effect of war is going to happen again.
He was
And for
basically
that
like,
to just be brushed off.
I can't contain my friends because they're gonna attack you.
Right.
yeah. Well, and I don't think maybe this still happens without the confrontation with Nagato, but um, the he has to be influenced with this strive for peace um, because of that confrontation with Nagato.
Yeah.
I,
Obviously, it's something that he would want before, but to know the cause and effect of why war is happening, I think that Naruto wouldn't be like privy to that, like so on the front of his mind, if it wasn't for that conversation with Pain or with
well,
Right.
yeah.
Nagato.
And
Thing.
like his village is still destroyed.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they haven't
because
even
of that.
rebuilt.
Yeah,
And I guarantee you that's why. Like he has a very rare chance to see the effects of war, but also a hard stop on that being permanent because of the healing and the reversal of all those deaths.
yeah,
They still have to rebuild, which, yeah, that's going to take a while, but at least they're there to rebuild it.
right.
And so, yeah, I feel like that's exactly why he did that was, hey, I just saw what could happen. Like I got a glimpse of the future if we don't stop this. We're
Yeah,
all going to be in just utter ruin if we don't quit.
yeah. So after the Raikage rejects him, they're staying in the land of iron, and then we see Madara come show up in front of Naruto. And what does he talk about
That's
there?
right. With Kakashi and Yamato, right?
Yeah,
So
and
he's
so they
talking
like
about
blow up.
Itachi's history, Sasuke's history,
yeah,
the
and how
truth behind them.
he's basically saying Sasuke and Naruto are like destined to be enemies and fight each other, right?
Yeah, we got some really very important backstory. Now the super important stuff gets rehashed. I mean, you guys have probably picked up on that. It gets rehashed, but just in case you missed it, what he was talking about was important. It might be worth going back to like rewatch that scene, just because we're going to learn so much more about the Sage of the Six Paths and all of the tailed beast and the
Right.
10 tails, all of that stuff, and then Naruto and Sasuke's destiny, and if that's a reality or not. That's all very important stuff. But I will say that Kabuto and Kakashi bring up a great point that he's just coming up and saying all this stuff. Whether it's true or not, we'll find out. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it at least partly has to be, because I'm telling you it's important. So I'm trying to play both sides of the coin here.
Yeah, I don't see how it's not because of the parallels between Senju and Uchiha.
Yeah.
And the history, and like they kind of showed glimpses of Naruto's past with his father and just the side with the will of fire versus the
Mhm.
will of hatred. And that was just a big mind blow for me. Like, just absolutely changes the story entirely, because there's a thread that, okay, that's fine. That's a big piece of it, but I don't know, with Naruto's ability to see the destruction of war, I just feel like it's going to be his goal to break that cycle too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, did you have anything you wanted to say about that, Asher?
Well, about the Madara stuff and the six
Yeah.
paths and all that.
Because I was just going to keep moving on.
No, keep moving. I mean, I'm interested in it. I know it's going to be important, and I'm mostly interested in how like Madara's kind of he's set in his ways to the point that like history is going to repeat itself, kind of stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
We watched Attack on Titan recently and saw the whole cycle of war and how if someone's basically like destined to do something, then it has to play out that way, and it does. Spoilers
Yeah.
a little bit, kind of, but it just seems like Naruto's like a big fu to all of that, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I definitely got Aaron Yeager vibes from Madara though, whenever he kind of laid out his goals.
100%.
But like, yeah, for those who
Why
haven't
he
seen Attack on
sucks.
Titan, I'll be whatever. Yeah, it didn't happen the same way.
Right.
I'll say that. Like,
Yeah.
Madara is like, I want this to happen. I don't think that was the same for the other
Sure.
guy.
I agree.
Well, while that was happening, because Madara can use his jutsu to just transport wherever he wants.
Pretty
Sasuke,
convenient.
Yeah, pretty convenient. Wow.
Sure about that, bud?
You sure about that? Sasuke attacks the Five Kage summit and fights the Raikage. Let's talk about that, because we saw some really cool stuff from Sasuke.
Sasuke's
And we
such a
saw
ding dong.
an arm get chopped off
Yes.
by the
And
owner.
he was like, all right, whatever.
He was like, I could dodge it, but I want to hit this shot so bad that I will take losing my left arm. He knew he was going to lose it. He knew he was going to lose his left arm as soon as we saw the Amaterasu.
It just adds to that military persona of like,
Yeah.
take off the limb, I'm still going to fight. You know,
Yeah.
like just a brute.
Mm.
And from both sides, though, that fight was just intense.
Yeah.
Not the
Raikage
craziest
is
one we've
extremely
seen.
strong.
Sure.
Oh yeah, no, but I would think that it's to showcase the Susanoo and the Mangekyu Sharingan as much as um like new potential and power Sasuke has. Like that's the first time we've seen him fight with those, right?
Yeah. I mean, because it kind of gave me the same vibes of the fox, as it was like the skeleton was kind of forming in that
Yeah.
last fight. And
Yeah.
it's like developing as he gets
Yeah.
older and starts to like get more comfortable using these powers. And maybe comfortable is not the right word, but he's using them in different ways.
Honing, maybe.
Sure.
And by the way, I don't think this is the first time it was the fight with Killer Bee. I think that has to be the first time that we saw him fight with the Mangekyu. But anyways, we saw like the Susanoo being like shown off this time, which I think wasn't necessarily the only reason the fight happened, but
and we've seen that before too, right? Itachi used it.
Yeah, but the fact that Sasuke's using it is a big deal because
and
as
able
it
to use
stands, right, as it stands, Itachi, Madara, and Shisui were the only ones that could achieve Susanoo.
Which,
Because
by the
they're
way,
the only ones that had Mangekyu.
Does that mean Donzo can? Because he's got Shisui's eye, right? Was that
We don't
confirmed?
know yet. Yeah, I mean,
signs
It wasn't
point to
denied.
yes. We're shaking the magic 8 ball.
Yeah, because what's his name? What's his name? Al or Aoi?
Ao? Al? I think it's Al.
Al?
Yeah.
Is it Ao? It's
Ao.
Al then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has Byakugan?
Yeah. He's got a Byakugan and saw it. So yeah, I mean, just go ahead and take that as truth. But
I mean, he
I don't know
all
about
but
you.
confirmed.
Yeah, I've told you guys, you don't know what to believe. I've told you guys so many lies on this show.
Hold on a second. You told us that the tailed beasts, you didn't say it this way, but I was under the impression that the Jinchuriki cannot tame the tailed beasts. And it looks like B is talking to his big freaking squid.
Wait, when did I tell you that?
Octopus.
When did I tell you that?
I just said you didn't say it in so many words, but you gave us the impression that like they are not friends, and they seem like best pals for life.
Yeah, we'll learn more about that. I'll stand by what I said in the past.
He said
I don't know what I said.
Well, you said
he was careful about it because he said if Naruto let the Nine Tails just take over, he would die.
He would. That's true.
Right.
Because they're not friends.
I feel like it's different than what B's doing with the Eight Tails.
I don't so much listen to what you say as much as I remember how I felt in that situation. I'm like the Raikage. Kind of an idiot.
Oh my god. Yeah, we'll learn more about that, obviously. We'll see if I lied or not.
Back to Shisui though. He did say, I've seen that eye before. And they had interacted, this guy and Shisui.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, that's similar to Shisui. He's like, that's his eye.
Yeah.
I've dealt with this before.
Yeah, because he saw his chakra before.
Right.
These
so he thought it was Shisui for a second.
These people taking Uchiha
he just knew he had his eye.
I'm just kidding.
Picking them up at the market is gross, by the way.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate that. There's memes that I see from time to time, and somehow they're depicted that like in Naruto, it's just pull them out, place them in, and it's like, oh, they work again. Isn't that crazy? It's the weirdest part of the universe to me. There's a lot of weird parts of the universe, but the ability to just like pluck your own eye out without any pain, like, could you imagine? Like, that's awful to think about.
I mean, you can get an eye replacement.
Huh?
You can get an eye replacement now. in
Yeah,
America.
but like, are they like just pulling that out without putting you under or no anesthetic? Like, you just, hey,
I mean, no.
all right, cool.
Like, you're gonna be in a. It's gonna be an operation. You're not gonna remember it.
Exactly. But in the Naruto universe, they can just pull that sucker out like it was a piece of popcorn stuck in your teeth.
Sure, but they can also run through trees, fly through trees.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're ninja. So that is more acceptable and less weird than pulling eyeballs.
Agreed.
Weird.
But it's all the suspension of belief. Or
Yeah, suspension of disbelief.
there it is. I can never get that right.
What was it said? Like it was a year ago now.
Disposition of belief.
Yeah,
That just means
disposition
I
of
believe
belief.
it. That's just Naruto. Believe it.
Oh my god.
So that's 2 for 2 on. I'm pretty much just an idiot.
Oh my god. Stop.
What, you
Was
and
it
me?
you who said disposition of belief too?
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Hey, speaking of Jinchuriki, my prediction about Gaara was correct, and he kept like a ton of his powers, which was awesome.
Oh yeah. Like he just lost like the tons of chakra
Right,
reserves that he
right.
had, but like to tap into that, I mean, he had to get pretty angry.
Yeah.
But Gaara is still very, very strong.
God, he's awesome.
To
He's
still
the
hold the
best.
title of Kage for all 5 Kage. Let me put this out there, including Donzo if you want to, or Tsunade, either one.
Tsunade, please.
For all 5 Kage, you are not holding that seat unless you are actively a badass. Like,
Right.
if you're not anymore, they're just going to put someone else in that seat.
Okay,
So
makes sense.
Same goes for the Tsuchikage, Mizukage,
Really?
Kazekage, Raikage. Like, they all hold their own. And we see that a little bit in 204 when they're fighting or they're trying to trap Sasuke and fight the rest of oh god, what are they called now? I wanted to say heavy.
Taka.
But Taka. I mean, they're all pretty strong with like some pretty diverse jutsu. Like the Mizukage has the lava, and then the great fence sitter, the Tsuchikage, has particle jutsu, and that is broken.
Seems
broken.
OP.
Yeah, like he just created a square, and then everything in the square got deleted.
That's the old guy.
Yeah,
It's like
And-
like a Yoda vibe, but mean.
but like annoying.
But
Yeah.
sucks.
Like it's
Yeah.
like you're super old and you shouldn't make sense, but you come in and you're just like, don't mess. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
He's like floating. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is he trying to
Broke
pick up
some
his
rules.
pack then? Like, that whole thing doesn't make sense now.
I would
that his back's,
assume
like,
that he's
breaking.
using some sort of jutsu to like float. I don't know.
So
It's,
maybe
you know,
maybe he
probably
didn't want to
just-
use his chakra the whole time they were traveling or something.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
But if you have someone the size of a elephant who can carry you everywhere,
His name.
why would you not?
absolutely.
Kurotsuchi,
I would be riding on his
Akatsuchi.
backpack everywhere we went.
Yeah.
I'd say up east.
I don't remember who was who. The girl from the
Uppies, please.
so dumb. I don't remember who was who out of the other Earth people, Kurotsuchi or Akatsuchi, but I think the girl was very funny. Just like, I can't believe any of this is happening. I feel like that's how I would be in these situations. She's just very sarcastic, like, oh, look, the old man is old, you know?
Yeah.
Just that kind of
Akatsuchi is the big guy.
big guy.
What's
I
the
like
other
big
one?
guy too.
What's the girl's name?
Kurotsuchi.
Kurotsuchi. See, another Suchi. Like, so
Suchi,
they
Suchi.
have matching ends of their names as
Right.
well.
Maybe it's a village thing.
Yeah, it totally could be. I don't know. Well, that brings us to the last episode, Declaration of War. And it was basically just that. We saw Madara just appear, take Sasuke out of the... Sasuke was going to lose that fight, by the way. Let's also make that clear. Sasuke was going to lose that fight. And Madara saved his ass, sent him wherever, and then sent Kage in there too. And then we saw the wherever for the first time in 205, where she's like, "Where is this?" That she's healing him. Remember that?
Yeah.
So that's where Madara's going in the in between.
Astral plane or
somehow.
something.
Yeah, and then able to choose where he's coming back out. And then he does exactly what the title says. He declares war on the entire ninja world. We don't know how though, because right now, as it stands, let's not count Taka. We're going to count just Akatsuki. Lady Angel. What is her name? Conan. She's gone. Pain gone. So right now, it's Madara, Zetsu,
Kisame.
Kisame. Yeah, we've not seen Kisame in a minute since before Itachi died.
We did get info on him though, right? He has chakra akin to a Jinchuriki.
Yeah,
Was a note that I made.
yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
Sucks,
Extremely,
by the way.
extremely strong. Yeah, and then I think that's it, right? Everybody else has been killed.
And then the samurai joining up under Mifune.
Yeah.
Excited about that too.
Mifune. I feel like I'm forgetting someone somehow, but anyways, they don't have an army built up, so we're waiting to figure out how he can wage war on the entire ninja world and it be effective. But nonetheless, we're going to war. So that brings us to our next batch, 206 through 214. And I will tell you that 214 is going to be an annoying place to stop. But I don't know. There wasn't like a better spot, to be honest. So usually I try to get like a good break like between this batch and the next one, but 214 kind of felt like the best spot. So if that for some reason changes after I watch it, I'll let you guys know and change it. It definitely won't be any shorter. It would be longer.
Can you say the
Longer,
episodes again?
longer.
207?
No, 206 through 214. 9 episodes.
All killer this time.
Nice. No filler.
No filler.
All killer, no filler.
Man,
so
we
yeah.
skipped over so much. It's not
Okay,
like that.
well, we always do though because
I
it's hard to
know.
cover everything. But what would you like to talk about?
Just want to geek out about Gaara for like 10 minutes. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
let's do it.
No, there's little.
I'm good.
No, we don't really have to do that. I loved his line where he said, "It's too little, too late. Appearances are outdated concepts." I was like, awesome.
And the "When did
Iconic.
you all forsake yourself" is like also a very iconic line. Also in the manga,
Yeah.
It has like a double. What's that called? Like when it's both sides. I think it's like a full like page.
Oh,
Or
dang.
2 pages for that, like just that one line to like lay down the emphasis of like him saying that because he's so much younger than everybody else.
How old is he right now? Like 17?
No, he would be yeah, I mean maybe. I can't remember if he's Naruto's age or a year older. I think he's Naruto's age. So
Okay.
I would say 16, which means which means he probably came into the seat of Kazekage at 15.
Gosh, that's
Maybe
crazy.
even before that. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say he's probably 16 now.
The only other thing I legitimately wanted to mention, we didn't really talk about Zetsu, and he had a bigger role, and we got to see more of his power this time. And
Yeah.
nasty.
He is a bundle of mystery.
A bundle of ick. He's gross.
Also a bundle of ick. Him splitting onto everybody and overtaking their body. Gross.
But yeah, changing eyeballs is weird.
Sure.
Hey,
that too.
changing eyeballs is still weird.
It is. It's not a either or. But with the Gara line, just something that gives context for why I like the Mizukage is like she understood what he was saying, whereas
Yeah.
the other ones were kind of prideful and proud and like, who are you to say that?
Yeah.
She was just like, what a bright young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like her.
She is looking for a lover too, so maybe she was like,
Yeah, there is some odd cutscenes, like when she tells that guy, "Shut up, or I'll kill you." What is the line? What does she keep telling him?
No, I think that's
I
it.
think that was it.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Ugh! Can't do it." Oh my gosh.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else, then we'll sign off.
Ghetto or Guido? Ghetto statue?
Yeah, Ghetto statue.
That was the only other thing.
Ghetto.
Legitimately the only other thing. The Rin rebirth. And now Madara doesn't have it anymore. So got to figure it out.
Rene rebirth. Because Rene gone.
You're right.
We didn't talk about the Ten Tails.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit.
The partitioned
Sure.
beast.
But that thing
Yeah.
looked monstrous.
It reminded me of
Didn't it?
Umbreon a little bit. Or Umbreon, however you say that.
That's
That's
the
crazy.
last comparison I would have made.
Yeah, that's
Really?
crazy.
Like that
Okay.
shadowy kind of
Like,
look.
if anything, it was like a Darkrai.
I don't know what that is.
Big old boy.
Disagree with that.
Both?
Pikachu. I disagree with both.
Sure. I'm
Alright,
just saying, like,
Except
Whatever,
Pikachu.
man.
character style, color choices, and
Okay.
Well,
anyways,
yeah. Last piece of news. We, with tonight's pack openings, will finish our first booster box.
Whoa.
Booster box.
thank
I
you,
guess.
Connor.
And we've got 3 more. So this one, silver one, is half open. Because Connor bought it for me and was like, we gotta open it. And so we did, but I want to save the other half for us. But there's 2 packs here. I'm gonna keep one sealed. But between this one on top and then the other one that's half open, we should be good through the rest of the series. But without further ado, I guess is what I'm supposed to say next.
Okay,
go ahead and
last
open this.
thing.
Yeah.
In the opening credits, a bunch of people touch Naruto's butt.
Yeah, they do.
And I wonder if he liked it.
Ooh. That's a good point.
I wonder if that was like his kind of sexual awakening or something.
Wow. That's a great thought. Ibiki.
Ibiki.
I can't get it to focus ever.
It's just interesting that
Ibiki.
anytime you open packs, your camera decides to like pixelate.
I feel like in post it like looks fine wherever you
It
position
does.
it.
Dude. Okay, really? There we go. Fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shino.
Tamari. She had a different outfit. Liked it. Iconic.
Choji, and then whatever this dude's name is. I cannot not remember, but it's one of Donzo's like henchmen.
Oh, I was about to say, I have no recollection of this Batman wannabe person. Like 1960s Batman outfit.
One of the people with Donzo, so now we get to see that. This was actually the first batch that you would have been able to even see that card. So that's cool.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Sasuke. Wait, this is important. We need to get this to focus. Tell me when it focuses.
I think it's focused.
Okay.
Young
That's good
gun.
enough then. Sasuke.
Young man.
Jugo.
Jugo.
Big Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Choji.
Big
Choji.
Choji.
And then I've already seen this card.
Yo.
Dude, isn't that so
Cool.
sick?
That is sick.
SSR. Oh, and I just got this. So that's
Nice.
cool.
That's clean.
Now I'm just going to tape this onto my arm.
Wow.
So yeah, honestly, for the last card of a pack, like that's incredible.
That is
They
incredible.
did it on purpose.
Thank you, Connor, planning our cards.
Wow.
Well,
What a guy.
opening a box next week, I guess. That was a good one.
Wow.
Alrighty, well, episodes 206 through 214. We'll see you next week then.